Hello, everybody. I'm back with another recording. I missed yesterday because I had a lot to do yesterday. Didn't have time. And worked till like 6 a.m. in the morning. So I got to sleep. When I woke up, I had to go take my son to school and do other things. So I missed them yesterday posting. But today I'm back with taking Oh Give Thanks, Judy McAllister, through all 12 keys. All right, without sustain pedal. I just found out that learning without the sustain pedal helps in building finger control. Didn't realize that, but now it makes sense. That does make a whole lot of sense. And that's a problem that I have is finger control on the keys. So I'll definitely be doing the practice session without foot pedal. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. Okay, so I've discovered something, and like I said, I just heard that practicing without the sustain pedal helps build finger control. If you want to have more control over your playing, it's probably best to practice without the sustain pedal. And that's probably why I've been making a lot of mistakes, it looks like. Because I've been practicing with the sustain pedal now, the times that I practice without it, I notice that all the mistakes come up. And I'm noticing that I don't have good finger control. That's a revelation to me. I learned something new there that I didn't realize through practicing and just, like sitting down and learning my instrument over this past month. Doing this first song in all 12 keys, I learned something that was quite a revelation. In all my years of playing, I didn't know that. Now, I've always heard people say, oh, practice without the sustain pedal. I've heard that before, never taken heed to it until now. And it revealed a lot. So I know that the original thing or the original focus of these videos was me saying that, okay, I'm going to practice the song in all 12 keys until I get it perfect without mistakes. I'm revamping that. I am going to move on to the next song. I've already started it, and it's a complicated song. And I may be blowing myself out by doing this. I don't know. Because yesterday I kind of felt like, can I take a few minutes to practice this song? And I was like, no, you don't have the time. And so it may be a blowout where my mind is like, oh, well, you don't have the time. Or if I start too late and I'm like, oh, because the next song is very complicated. So my subconscious, might try to sabotage this because it is a tough song. But I like the song so much. And the song means that much to me. And I don't want to lose it. So I think I'll probably go forward with it. But with Oh Give Thanks, as I wrap up, like focusing on this song solely, what I'm going to do is, incorporate it as a warm up, which it seems like I need to incorporate warm ups too, because when I first get on the keyboard after not practicing for at least a day or something, I'm noticing that my hands are tight. My hands are not cooperating. My hands are cold. It's like it needs to warm up. So I need to incorporate some warm ups into this thing. So, Oh Give Thanks, I'm sure, is not an appropriate warm up. I know there's probably some other formal warm up exercises that I can do. I'll look into that later. But for now, when I go to the next song, Oh Give Thanks will be a warm up on that same video before I start with the next song, which is most likely James Hall. James Hall, For the Lord is Good. All right, let me go through it a couple more times and then I'll end the video. I'm not going to belabor. It's going to do what it's intended to do with mistakes and all. But I'm just noticing now. I'm getting it. I think this is a breakthrough. That I'm happy about it. So, now I know what the problem is. Why I keep on making mistakes. Why I have always made mistakes. Because I haven't practiced finger control or appropriate exercises to help with finger control. And so that's quite a revelation in itself. So yeah, that's cool. Too bad I didn't know that when I first started this, because assuming that, I probably would have been a whole lot further with the cleanliness of the playing and the execution of what I've been doing here for the last 30 days. All right, let's go. Okay, a couple of things I'm noticing. Now I feel that my fingers want to hold those notes down a little bit longer to create the feeling that the sustain pedal gives me. Because I'm noticing without the sustain pedal, I'm playing it choppy and I don't want it choppy. So now it's bringing awareness to my fingers to like, hey, hold down the keys. And in that, there's a lot of mistakes happening, a lot of slippage with the fingers happening. Also, another thing I'm noticing is that my left hand, especially when I play that low line, it's not played like that originally. And it's something that I do. But I kind of swiped that from Byron Cage on his album years ago, the live recording at New Birth, like about 25 years ago, that Kurt Carr produced. I forget it. Was it bless his name, name, praise him. I forget that how the first part of the song go, but they do that. Yeah, it's that song. It does that little. I added that in there, but I noticed that my left hand, when I do that, there's weakness, especially the pinky. My pinky's super weak. I do have a little familiarity with the hand exercises, and I know the pinky is important to strengthen, and my pinky is definitely not strengthened. And you could tell because in some keys, when I do that little, the way I'm hitting, maybe the fingering is wrong. It could be the finger that hits the notes could be wrong in the way I'm doing it. But when it comes to these last two fingers, then either I play the note hard or uneven or like kind of like out of sync or louder than the other or something like that in certain keys. It's clunky. I'm noticing that. So there is more work to be done in this song. It's definitely not over. I'm going to have to continue to practice this one and just to get it down, especially with this new revelation that I learned. Oh man, I wish I knew this 30 days ago. I wish I knew this piece of information 30 days ago because it would have. But that's okay. Going forward, learning the other songs, now we know. It's a piece of information that we can use when learning the other songs. Okay, I'm going to go through this one more time. We're going to end the video. All right. Went a whole nother key. Went a whole step up. Playing without the foot pedal really exposes the vulnerabilities. Yikes. Wow, this is something. This is really a revelation to me. Now, I'm a little bit upset about it. I'm not to say that I'm happy. I'm not. Because like a month's worth of progress just went down the drain. That's how I feel about it, to be honest. This sucks. I don't like this. I don't like this. But we're in E flat. We're gonna push through it. But playing without the foot pedal shows your musicianship for real. It shows how trash I am right now. It really does. It's exposing it for all the world to see. Thankfully, I don't have any, but I don't have many viewers. Thankfully, who knows what's to say in the future? But wow, this is terrible. This is terrible. I'm not happy, but it's good to know. It's good to know because it's instructive for the next song, for sure. Which is a hard song. So, oh man, what am I doing to myself? Yikes! It's all going to be televised too. That's the epic blowout is going to be televised. All right, let's continue. Let's see. My hands are all over the place right now. All right, guys. Yeah, this lesson, this not lesson, I keep on calling it, this session was very instructive for me. Yeah. I got a lot to work on. Years of bad playing, technically bad playing. I'm seeing it. And when I watch these videos, I see it. It's cringe for me. It's cringe. It's eye-opening, but it's cringe. But it is providing motivation to keep going, because, like, wow. Not expecting an overnight fix, because, well, there is no overnight fixes for something like this. Sad about it, though, but it's one of the things when you're self-taught. This is what happens. And, when you grow up and you can't afford lessons, when stuff like that happens, you can't afford to pay somebody to show you. This is what happens. You're left to your own devices, and you have to learn through trial and error. And sometimes you stay in error for a long time. And apparently, for decades. Playing technically wrong. Now I understand that, why do I make so many mistakes? Well, because I haven't trained properly. I'm not going to say I haven't been trained properly because I'm self-taught. I haven't trained properly. And I guess once those things are fixed, then, and I guess we'll see. I guess I'll see myself getting better as I go through this process, if I stay encouraged to continue the process. Because yesterday I was upset at myself that I didn't make myself. Well, actually, let me tell some truth here. Let me be totally transparent. Earlier I said I didn't have time. Well, I didn't later on. I woke up like at 10 o'clock yesterday. And I stayed on that damn phone for like 4 hours. And by the time I got off of it and was ready to go, it was too late to do anything. Yeah. Wasted 4 hours on that phone. And I did it again today. I wasted about an hour and a half on the phone today. Those cell phones are not good. You want to talk about the mark of the beast? They used to say, I heard a preacher said years ago when I was little, mark of the beast, 666, on your forehead or in the palm of your hand. It's funny how today everything is controlled by that little phone that we carry in our hands and by these Bluetooth devices we put on our heads. When I heard that man preach that sermon, it was in the 80s, before this technology was available. Says a lot. But people don't understand that, if you believe in that, the mark of the beast. Don't know if I'm totally subscribed to that, but I don't know. I heard it said by a preacher years ago, before these technologies were available. And now we have something in the palm of our hand and on our foreheads. Not quite on the forehead, but you know what I mean. Close enough. Everything is ruled by, now we have people going crazy on the internet for hours a day, believing everything somebody else is saying. And what I found out about human nature is that you could say anything and somebody will believe you. They won't fact check it. They won't. And let's not talk about doing research on the internet, because you can't believe everything you see on the internet, because it's somebody could be saying something they made up. And people don't know how to critically think, and they don't know how to verify sources. They don't even look up stuff that's peer reviewed. They just peer review today is just looking at somebody's TikTok that confirms what you want to hear. And that's not peer reviewed. That's not confirmation. That's not doing your research. That's just listening to someone say stuff. And people could just say anything, and you'll have a percentage of people that will believe it, whether it's true or not. And so to be on that phone for 4 hours when I could have taken that 4 hours and devoted it to the keys is bananas. So I'm glad I had the courage to say it on video, to hear myself say it, play it back later and watch myself rebuke myself for being 4 hours on that phone when I woke up yesterday, and an hour and a half on that phone when I woke up today, instead of getting my ass on this keyboard and practicing. That was 4 hours of practice time I could have devoted, and I devoted it to something I can't control. Looking at news stories and stuff and commenting on posts and wasting time on something I can't control. What I can control is myself and what I do in my actions. But obviously I can't control myself. But I better get some control, because that was bad. That was bad. And so I missed out on yesterday because I wasted time earlier. And by the time I got off that damn phone, it was time to go. It was time to do everything else I needed to do. And even in today, I told myself if I got up at 10, I would be on here by 12. Missed it by a half an hour, but still, it should have been soon as your ass wake up, get on that keyboard. Don't pick up that phone. The cell phone is quickly becoming a problem. And that's why everybody's living in mediocrity, including me. I'm the most mediocre person you would ever know, because of all these distractions I've given into. Giving my time and attention and my energy to something that's not my vision. This is for me, what I'm doing here. And I've doubted it for years, because I always felt bad for myself, because people always rejected me. I'm no stranger to rejection. People reject me all the time. I'm super lonely right now. I'm married. I have 3 kids. I have a family, but I'm lonely. My friends are not around. People don't call me. All I do is work. My texts, nobody texts me. Nobody calls me. My phone is dry except for me going on it to be on social media and doom scroll the whole time. And watching other people live their dream and be free and actually doing the work. These people out here are actually doing the work. I'm out here putting energy into a vision that's not mine. Crazy. And so this right here, I'm building legacy right now. And I'm building myself up. This is what I need to be doing. This right here. This is what I need to be doing. In drowning myself in my music, which I've never done because I've always been insecure about it. You try growing up with the Powells and be one of the first musicians in your immediate family, and no money for lessons and nobody want to teach you, right? You get a couple people who want to teach you, but you're still on your own. Try that and see what happens. And then, people laugh at you. They say stuff about you. I've heard people laugh and joke and say shit about my playing. I've heard it. I've heard it all. I'm never on those lists of people who play in the state. Never on those lists. Nobody ever mentions me on those lists. They all know me. They all know I play. They don't acknowledge me at all. So it's pretty lonely here. It sucks. But that's nobody's fault but mine. I can't blame nobody else but me. If I was on my grind from day one, things would have been different. You got to get so good that they can't deny you. And another thing, you can't tell everybody what you're doing. People on Facebook, I have not told them what I'm doing here. YouTube is hard. YouTube is not easy. YouTube is not easy at all. That's why people go to it last. It's easier to do TikTok, Instagram. YouTube is hard. And I know that, a lot of people won't see this. I do know that. But I'm not telling them either. I'm not going to Facebook and be like, yo, go to my YouTube channel. No. They'll find out eventually. Because, the church world, it's big, but it's small. When you see John Peters in your comment section, you see how small the church world is. It's, my son is amazed sometimes that we go to these concerts and we see these gospel artists up close. It's not hard to get in contact with these people. I've been in rooms with Kirk Franklin. I remember the first time I saw Kirk Franklin, he came to Hartford, this church. It was called Horace Bushnell. Back then, it's Liberty now, Liberty Christian Center. Kirk Franklin came. And a guy named Philip Weatherspoon, legend around here. Could play the organ like nobody's business. Could play the piano like nobody's business. One of the greats. He's a multi-millionaire now. Who knows where he is? It's probably somewhere in California. He's a real estate millionaire. But he had this choir. He did a recording with them. United Love Inspirational Choir. That's the name of the choir. United Love Inspirational Choir. And so I was part of the choir. And story for another time. During the recording, I was young. I was a teenager. And, I called myself a musician back then. And I tried my hardest to play on the recording. He actually let me, but not really. He had me turned all the way down. I was up there with a keyboard and everything. They set me up with a keyboard and headphones and everything. I was just playing up there. And he had me turned all the way down. He was nice to do that, though. But I knew I was turned all the way down, but I didn't care. So sad. That's so sad. Playing up there with Doobie and Ivan Powell and Phil Weatherspoon with my keyboard set up, and it was turned all the way down. It's so pitiful. But anyway, but I was able, I think these people felt sorry for me, to be honest. I think these people felt sorry for me. They felt sorry for me because they knew my father was a pastor in the area and he had died. And when that recording was done, I think it was like at least 2 or 3 years after my father died. So it was still fresh. People was letting me in places that I shouldn't have been. If I was like some regular kid, people would have been like, piss off, like, get out of here. But because everybody knew who my dad was, they knew he was a pastor, very prominent in the community and stuff like that. And then he passed away tragically in a car accident. Everybody knew that, and so everybody had pity on me. I would be, I would be at the Powell's house and doing studio sessions and singing with Doobie and all of that kind of stuff back in the day. And I'm not saying that like the Powells that pity. They're my friends. Hubert Powell was a great man. Like he was for the people. He really had a love for the people. He really did. Miss him dearly. He was really a good guy. He was a real one. He really loved the people. But anyway, so Kirk Franklin had came to Horace Bushnell, now Liberty Christian Center. And I was able to be there early in the day when Kirk came to check out the church and the equipment and the setup and stuff. So I got to shake his hand and got to see him play the organ, like up close and personal, just like me, Phil Weatherspoon, the pastor, and maybe a couple other people, just standing around Kirk Franklin playing the organ. That was a moment I'll never forget. But you got to understand, it's not hard to get in the presence of these people. It's not. I've shaken hands with mostly all of them. Mostly all. Hezekiah Walker, James Hall. My wife met Ricky Dillard, but I was close enough to him to meet him, but I didn't. Lamar Campbell, Donald Lawrence. This guy in our area, Bishop Marshall Muntz, he's friends with all of them. He would call them up to Hartford all the time. And one time Donald Lawrence came through, and I was always going over to Marshall Muntz Church. Always at Citadel. And Donald Lawrence just happened to be at Citadel after a concert we had in Hartford featuring Donald Lawrence. And I went by Citadel Love, that's Bishop Muntz Church. Went by the Citadel late after the concert just to go by there, just to check out things, because me and my group of friends, we used to always be there. And we go in the church, and lo and behold, it was Marshall Muntz and Donald Lawrence in the church office. I got to meet Donald Lawrence firsthand. It's not hard to meet these people in the church world. You just go to the GMWA and you meet them. And so the church world is very small. I said all that to get back to this. Well, I'm sorry, went on a tangent. Sorry about that. These people are going to find out what I'm doing eventually, because the church world is very small. Like I said, John Peters in my comment section commenting on a song that he wrote and composed, telling me that I'm doing a good job learning it, is crazy. But that's how small the church world is. And so, but I'm not telling everybody, of course, part of me wanted to be on Facebook and tag John Peters. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Tag him and say, hey, oh my God, the legend himself telling me I sound good. But that's ego. Hey, you can't tell everybody what you're doing. You can't. And so, even though I'm kind of telling everybody what I'm doing on YouTube, but it doesn't matter. It's a, like I said, it's a practice tool for me. It's an accountability tool for me. And it's also a diary for me. So I could look back on it years later and be like, oh, yeah, that's where I was back then. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.